What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the No Fun League. Preseason week 2 just happened. Once again, everything that happens in preseason we should take with a caveat. However, there are certain things that we can tell and we can talk about that are important going forward. First of all, I am ready to admit that I was wrong on draft night in April about Bo Nix. I thought it was a bad pick. I thought he was going to most likely be a bust and, lead to Sean Payton getting fired. However, in the first two preseason games, he has cooked. Now, the quarterbacks in general for Stidham has been pretty darn good too, but Bo Nix has looked great. Now, like I said, it's preseason. He's not playing against good defenses, or in the sense of the defenses are not running what they'll run against him in 3 weeks from now. However, you can still see the arm mechanics, accuracy, things like that. He looks phenomenal, and I think this is another Sean Payton getting his guy like he did with Drew Brees. And it's really cool to see because Bo Nix has been through a lot. That story in itself is pretty cool. And it makes sense that he's pro-ready coming out given that he's almost 30. That's an exaggeration, but he is older for a rookie player in the NFL in this day and age with people leaving after their junior year. But just in general, I think if Bo Nix is actually good, that lifts the ceiling for Denver a lot this season because I don't think anybody really expects them to compete. At the same time, they're in the AFC West and they have to deal with Harbaugh, Antonio Pierce, and the Raiders or whatever they'll be, and obviously the big bad wolf, the goats of the NFL right now, the Kansas City Chiefs. So I don't know how much it will these two good preseason performances will show up. When you're playing Spags in Kansas City and whenever they're playing, I don't remember the exact month or time, but it's good. It's good that your rookie quarterback is playing well, and that's really fun to see. Moving on to some quarterbacks that are not playing that well. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they got rid of Kenny Pickett. They traded him to Philadelphia for nothing, where he might not even win the backup quarterback job. That might go to Tanner McKee. He might be the third-string quarterback after being a number one overall pick less than 4 years ago. That is a little sad if you think about it. However, they signed Russell Wilson to a minimum deal because the aforementioned Denver Broncos are still paying him $83 million. And they traded for Justin Fields because Chicago drafted Caleb Williams, who we'll talk about in a second. But none of them have looked great. Russ was hurt for a little bit, so Justin Fields got some time with the starters and stuff like that and more playing time in the first preseason game. But, now that Russell Wilson's back, we got a good look at both of them in their second preseason game. And no one looked really good. And to top that off, George Pickens is the only good receiver on that team. I challenge you to name another receiver on that team without looking. The only one that I can think of is Roman Wilson, who I'm pretty sure got hurt in practice. So you have George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, Najee Harris, and Jalen Warren. Those are your four surefire weapons. The offensive line has had so many injuries already. It's a shit show, the offensive line, because of the injuries. Their starting center got hurt and is going to miss a couple of months or weeks too. So none of this is a good start so far. The vibes are, obviously with injuries and bad quarterback play, fans are going to get upset and all of that. As a Giants fan, I know. But, it's going to be hard to make a decision. I feel like it might just come down to a financial ploy if they're, at the same level of mediocrity where, Russell Wilson is 36, 37. Justin Fields is younger. You might want to get the younger, more athletic guy who can at least run around and bring some excitement to your team to get the fans in. That is the, business degree, capitalistic way of looking at it. But I was excited for this, man. I was excited for both of them because I thought that Russ would be the starter for, 6-7 weeks, play decent, and then they'd get Justin Fields in. But, so far it's been uninspiring, especially when we see other performances. We're seeing Patrick Mahomes throw behind the back passes to Travis Kelce. Compared to that, it's not great, especially when the rest of your division is, the Browns, who are probably the best roster in the NFL outside of quarterback, the Ravens with MVP winner Lamar Jackson, and then the Bengals with Joe Burrow. It's not great. It's not a great look for them, especially because of, how good they were the last decade or so. But it's Mike Tomlin, so I'm sure they'll bang out a 9-8 season easily. but I really had high hopes for them, and so far the quarterbacks are really letting me down. A quarterback that isn't letting me down, however, Caleb Williams, a guy that people were making up stories about, saying that he wanted a percentage of whatever team he went to. He didn't want to go to Chicago, yada, 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 yada. That dude has been balling out the last 2 games. He has looked fantastic. The intro that they gave him in Hard Knocks with the Michael Jordan music from the 90s Bulls, that's appropriate because he's most likely going to be the best Chicago athlete since Michael Jordan in the next 3 years. He's going to be considered that. I think that the Bears might win the NFC North because you can see the improvisation, you can see the athleticism, you can see the arm strength, but you also see him just like chilling in the pocket, making plays, and the line and weapons being good, which sadly Justin Fields didn't get in Chicago, but they didn't want to make the same mistake twice. Ryan Poles did a phenomenal job building that roster. Eberflus has the defense humming from last year, and they added more pieces to it. So the vibes are so high in Chicago right now. They're getting a Hard Knocks bump too because everybody's talking about them. They're watching the show. But it's actually one of the most watched episodes of Hard Knocks in recent years. But he has played phenomenal, and it is great because all of the insecure dudes who are shitting on him for painting his nails and, you know, crying after he loses a game, all of them can suck it, which is phenomenal and just great to see. And you know what? We'll end it on a high note. No need to talk about the Giants and what happened in their preseason game because there's already a video about that up on this channel, and I do not need that for my mental health right now, so I will choose to ignore that. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe. Peace.